Everybody, welcome to this brief interview with fund manager Philip Friston. We're here in the United Kingdom. We're actually in Tom Williams' garden, aren't we, Philip? Which is
yes.
an interesting place to be doing an interview. So you may hear some seagulls and some aeroplanes flying overhead. But Philip, I think the first question I think everyone would like to know is how did you first become involved in the financial markets? And you know, once you got involved with the markets, what led you to volume spread analysis?
Well, that's quite a long story. So
we've got plenty of time.
Reasonably short. But my first interest came in the late 1960s.
Okay.
And at that time I used to write away for a lot of company reports.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at fundamentals. And a friend of mine was also interested in the markets, and I started to generate an interest, and my father ran an investment company.
Right, okay.
So I used to get an interest from there, and at that age I couldn't actually invest myself because I wasn't old enough.
Okay.
So he used to buy some things and I used to have a portion of it. And that's how we really got started.
Mm-hmm.
And that interested me because I thought this should be a way of making some money. It's better than putting the money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time I knew really nothing about the markets at all. So things went on from there, and then we went through in 1973-74 when the market lost, I think it was 78% of its value in 18 months.
Yeah, I remember that.
And fortunately I was at college at the time, so I didn't have much money, but I lost roughly half of what I had. And that was probably the biggest lesson I could have had, because having lost that money I thought there must be something I could have done to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
So I started delving into it in more detail, and that was when I got involved with technical analysis and started trying out various bits of software. But nothing that I looked at ever really fitted the bill.
Mm-hmm.
The trouble was you always felt you were one step behind other people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And finally there was a friend of mine phoned me up and said, look, I've seen this advert in the Financial Times. It's a program called Genie Chartist, which was the originator for TradeGuider. And he said, look, this looks really interesting. And I said, no, I said, I've had enough of this. I said, I've tried all these different pieces of
You're
software.
going to give up, were you?
Lost a load of money. I said, look, it's just not worth it. It's just throwing money down the drain. And anyway, long and the short of it is he did persuade me eventually, and I bought a demonstration disc, which I think cost the princely sum of £5.
This is now the TradeGuider software, is it?
Which is now the TradeGuider
Yeah.
software. So I took it, and there was something which fascinated me about it as soon as I put it on the computer. And I think the thing that fascinated me most was that it was straightforward. It was something different from what I'd been looking at before.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't any of these wonderful indicators on, like stochastic of moving averages and various other things that you get. This was just a chart with volume bars underneath, and it was based on supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd learnt what supply and demand